Well, hi everybody, and welcome to this video conversation. Now, if you've been following along with my series on how to develop a really offensive data and analytics strategy, then you will have seen that we've been discussing about one of the key components being the necessity to have robust value management, delivery and tracking processes. Now, this is probably easier said than done. But actually, what I wanted to share with you in this video was essentially a platform called YOOI that I've been working with over the last year to 18 months or so. And YOOI's been specifically designed as a platform to enable D&A leaders to do exactly that. So to do that, I've asked Nicolas Averseng, the CEO and founder of YOOI, to join me in this conversation and to explain what YOOI actually is, what it does, but importantly, what value it delivers to D&A leadership and the enterprise generally. Well, hi everyone and welcome. So I'm really pleased today to be joined by Nicolas Averseng from YOOI. So Nicolas, I think we met probably about a couple of years ago, actually, thinking back when I think we touched base on LinkedIn after I'd written a blog post or something about value delivery from data and analytics, and we've been sort of in touch ever since, because I think what you bring to the world of data and analytics delivery is really sort of fascinating, and that's why I was keen to sort of have this conversation with you. We obviously had the chance. We worked together last year where I was implementing YOOI in an organisation, but I think. Why don't we talk a little bit about what was the original sort of inspiration behind YOOI, and what kind of problem does it solve for data and analytics leaders and professionals?
Yeah, so thanks for the invite, Neil. Indeed, it's always great to talk with let's say like-minded people who work in terms of and that's very much to answer your question. Actually, in the analytics space, too many people are focused on purely tech, like building tech, technology enablers, and so on. And then we see, stories after stories of how those tech projects fail to deliver value and then fail altogether. And before funding YOOI, I've been working a bit in the consulting space, and I always noticed that gap that exists between smart people building a strategy and then other smart people who try to struggle with technology and make stuff with that, and the huge, I would say, rift that exists among that. And how do you make the strategy less static to make a better bridge with how you operationalize it and so on, and at the end make sure that you you build a strategy that you can execute upon, that you build a technology enabler that delivers value, and at the end you start to make a change with, let's say, with data and AI, which is our focus today.
Yeah. So why don't you explain what YOOI actually does and sort of get into the nuts? I mean, what attracted me to sort of your proposition was that sort of real sort of focus on the value delivery of data and analytics initiatives.
Yeah, so the way we present YOOI is that we help organizations think about their data and AI investments very much like a financial portfolio. So it's basically a value-driven portfolio. And like a financial portfolio, you need to start with, where should I invest? What's the best? So in data, it's where the best use cases. So how do I capture them from the business? How do I assess them? How do I prioritize that into the best roadmap? And prioritizing means what is the expected value, expected risk, expected cost. And then based on that, how do I make sure that I track that portfolio over time? Because when you build your data and AI strategy, you're not building projects, it's building products, which you need to track over time, and you need to iterate upon, and you need to track then over time that what is the realized value based on the original expectation, what is how risk evolving, and how is the cost going. And so what we do is very much that portfolio mindset, where again you start with, what should I prioritize, how do I track delivery and make sure we align the different work streams, and then how can I demonstrate value afterwards. And we know that especially in today's world, being able to demonstrate value is critical to get budget. Otherwise we see that it's just saying being challenged with their budget. So that's kind of a virtuous loop also to be able to do that. So that's very much what we do, to have that, let's say, tool to support that end-to-end process across the organization, to help that collaboration and stop struggling with trying to do that with 250 Excel sheets, which slightly different structures, and so on and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I think, having worked with YOOI previously, that's that end-to-end sort of element, which is, really, really quite powerful. And it's also, for a CDAO or a CDO, Chief Analytics, Head of Analytics, the ability to actually demonstrate, the projects that are in flight, the value that's attached to them, how the prioritization is sort of feeding projects into the pipeline is incredibly powerful. I mean, in terms of what sort of key aspects, what would you say is probably sort of, for a CDO or a CDAO, sort of the sort of big takeaway from from the conversations you have with them in terms of how YOOI helps?
I think you touch on that. The way CDOs look at it is to have basically the cockpit for their data and AI program. And that notion of a cockpit is a place where they can both engage the business to capture what they actually need, but also give them a feedback on how they're actually acting upon that, which is really important. It's not only about getting insight from the business, but also about giving them something back. And then also articulating all those different processes, let's say like governance processes in a way, like governing the program end to end. So easing the reporting, supporting all the different decision points. So it's kind of that, again, end-to-end view, but also connecting different population within the company and having that, again, they have plenty of technical tools, but what do they give to the non-technical people to engage with the data office? And so I would say if I had one word, it would be that cockpit, because this is how at the end they also incarnate their program in a way. What if you want to say what's your strategy? Here is it. What's the status of the strategy? Here it is. What are you going to deliver next year? Here it is. And
yeah. I mean, I think again, I think that cockpit, is a very powerful notion, because within a sort of mature data and analytics organization, they'll have sort of tooling for this. Presumably they'll be using something like Jira to sort of actually run the delivery of their platforms and their products, and governance tooling, etc., and the ability though to have something that actually almost pulls all that together into a highly integrated kind of way and sits on top of that sort of operational systems to provide that sort of view into the value delivery, and that value focus is I think is one of the real powerful elements of YOOI. Cool. Well, Nicolas, as always, great to catch up and to give a flavour of what YOOI brings to the data and analytics professionals and leaders in the market. The details of people, how they can get in contact with you, will appear after we finish the conversation, and look forward to catching up with you next time you're over in this part of the world.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this chat. Always great to talk to you and to see how we align and have some kind of synergies. So
sure.
Thanks a lot, Neil, and talk to you soon.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye.
Well, I hope you found that interesting, and I'm pleased to say that Applied Insights and YOOI will be working together going forward, where we'll be providing a services and consulting wrapper around the YOOI platform in order to help accelerate that path to adoption and value. So if you'd like to understand more about how Applied Insights and YOOI can help you with that value realization journey around your data and analytics investments, then please do get in touch.